Hi, thanks for joining me. My name is Rose Peter Graham, and this is Rose on All Sides. Have you seen this? Yes, that's the book that everyone is talking about. It has been called the weirdest book written by a royal. His words, his story, Prince Harry's memoir, telling the story of his life, and parting from the royal family. The story about the one and only prince that felt the best he could do with his life at this time is to part from his family and then writing a book exposing his family. For me, I wouldn't want to hear my own views about it. I want to hear from my guest. I've got Priscilla with me, my colleague and my friend, a broadcaster and a political and social analyst. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you. It's a pleasure, Rose.
And of course, I have with me the chairman of ECOWAS Citizens' Rights Advocates, Kofi Ali Yeki. Thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, Rose.
So now let us do this. What is your take on this book? I would like for us to, if you want to try to, go a bit back with what has been happening with Prince Harry, his wife, and then the royal family. But right now, this book that came out, it says so much. Is this actually necessary? I'll start with you, Priscilla.
Yes, it is. And
Okay.
he's not the first one to have written a book. Before him, his father has written a book. His mother has written a book. His father has written more than one, given an interview in equal measure, criticizing his own mother and father, telling us about the lack of love that he had growing up, and telling us, how the family are, so dysfunctional. So Harry is not new in this. Harry is just picking up where his family left off. And he is telling his own story because, as much as his father had told us then about the challenges that he had, and the problems that he was facing, the family have not done much to change that. And so Harry, as his son, has continued to experience, endure, and to make matters worse, the effect and the impact of whether it's his mother's death or the way the British media treat him has, and his family most especially, has resulted in this book. So I think it's great that he.
Before I pick holes in what you just
I
said,
know.
Priscilla, before I do that, let me ask Kofi. Kofi, you tell me, is this necessary?
Well, I don't think it's necessary. Writing a book, there's nothing wrong in anyone writing a book. But when a book becomes so controversial, when the content of the book becomes seriously challenging, when the content of the book is meant to justify why you are picking a lifelong bone with people you call your father and brother, your family, your dearest ones, I think we need to all step back and ask ourselves, this thing we are saying, is it even only affecting just the present king and the future king, or it's even affecting generations to come, and it's also going to affect the nation as it stands? Because in this nation, the head of state means a lot to them. And you are talking about Australia, New Zealand, Canada, and all these people look up to this. So this issue is not just British. It's a big, big issue. And there's nothing that can be challenging. Yes, we heard earlier that the father, Prince Charles, mourned about his childhood and certain things, but he never stood out to start directing public attention, public grievance to his own mother. He stood by this woman. Even when the woman couldn't do anything, she said, call me Charles. Everybody, Charles was playing the game when the woman can't do anything. This is what you do to your mother who has given you everything, the head of states. You don't sit out and say you are living. You are not only living your family, you are living the country, you are living the nation, you are living the people who made you who you are.
Really?
What should people like me who never had anything say? And I think we need to step back and call our brother. Yes, he should be informed. Sometimes there are certain battles you don't fight. That doesn't make you weak or coward. Your family, this particular family, is not an ordinary family.
Okay. Priscilla, no, wait a minute, so Kofi. That was deep. Priscilla, I know Priscilla is actually in support of Harry.
Yes, I am.
Okay, that's fine because it is good, but I want to talk about the details or the contents of this book. You know, maybe should have been my question. Are they actually necessary? Because anyone could write a book. But you know, the content of it, you said the father has also talked about it, but the way Harry went about it, and then the way the publishers, the plan that were actually put in place before the leak was that it was going to attend like 3, 4, 5 interviews, and then of course they raised the temple of it before the book sales. Hits the stores itself. So, but let's look at the content of it. When you talked about the father, he mentioned his father's pitiful teddy bear. How he was hanging, hold, and turn. Should you give people those details about your own father?
So here's my take on this. Let me rewind back a bit. I remember when himself and his wife announced the Oprah interview, and I remember thinking, oh my God, no! I wish you guys would not do that. And then they did, and I thought, And then I recall more recently they launched the 6-part Netflix thing.
Documentary.
I was like, oh, this is a bit plenty. I wish you guys didn't do that. And here we are, then the book. Right? But bear with me, then the book. Here's the thing. Harry is not writing this book because he wants to attack his family. I think it's important for us to understand the context and the reasons why we're here today. We are here today because 6 years ago, Harry met a woman. And he fell in love and decided to marry her. Fair enough, this woman, before she came along, she probably did not understand sufficiently because she was already a public figure. But she didn't expect, and I don't think neither did Harry, in fact, not even I myself, expected that the volume of, what was being written about her will be written. We're talking in excess of over 240,000 articles. And this is just in 1 year, I think, if I'm right. In 1 year, about one woman. Come on, that's unacceptable. Wait, I'm not done. I'm coming.
Okay.
So then, and we're talking a very powerful family. We're talking a family that are able just to pick up the phone or to make a statement and everybody will behave. This issue here is today because the family have sat back and literally permitted the media to tear this young man and his life to shreds. He is putting this out because from when he was a child, he had been written about. They've used him, as he says, to cover up so many things, and the receipts are there. Now, this book here, I agree. I've read some parts of it. I haven't completed reading the book. I've read some parts of it, and I was like, oh, Harry, have you ever heard the term TMI, a little too much information?
Yeah.
But then I feel that what he's doing is that he wants to leave no stone unturned because so many others are making money off his name, writing books about him, manufacturing lies, and selling it and making money. And yet, he is not allowed to speak, and his family will not say anything to stop people from doing that. That's why we're here.
Okay, I would want for you to respond because but my only question today could have just been, if we spend an hour here, is like, is this book actually necessary? Is this book actually, that's what I'm going to, because you talked about all those tiny, weeny details, like a whole lot of it that shouldn't even come to the fore.
But if they had done something, you cannot tell me that a family this powerful cannot pay for the right kind of advice. You cannot tell me that the family this powerful do not have grown men and women that have sufficient wisdom to know when to put a stop to it. Now, here's what I've concluded. I have concluded that the matter is not just a case of, Harry wanting to write a book or the family permitting. It begs the question of what is it, what don't we know? What is greater for this family that is more valuable to them to sufficiently to allow for this narrative to continue to play out? Because as long as this narrative is playing out, we are not seeing that valuable thing that they don't want us to see or speak about. So that's on another level. But please.
I want to, of course,
You
Kofi, I need you
see,
to respond to that.
with all due respect, and I want to see with all due respect, indeed this is a kingdom, but there are different type of kingdoms. I don't believe in kingdoms. I believe in republics. But when I see what is good and what is working, because if you don't respect what is good and what is working, you yourself will never be good. I've lived in this country for 20 years, and I've studied the system, and I think it works. Maybe in Saudi Arabia, God knows what will have happened to those who have been writing bad things about a member of royal family. We all know what happened to Jamal Khashoggi. But these ones, what they have been doing all along is that they said whatever they say about the royals, do not respond, do not say anything, just keep quiet, let them say what they will say. Because you have the power. Using the power is different from the power as you have. So what they've done all along is to create the culture of we heard it, but we are not saying anything. That is all they do all along. What they can quietly stop, because who are those writing these things? Are they the members of the royal families, or they are people from outside? Most of the time they are outsiders who are doing it to make money. And we remember when Harry himself took, and his wife, she followed him to the court. Very sad. Because they are not supposed to be going to court, because nobody can take them to court. These two broke the tradition and they went to court. And there was judgment on their case. They are the court. They broke the tradition. But look at something. You see, freedom of the media in a civilized and developed country is a mark of development. Sometimes they may say certain things you don't like. There are quite ways of trying to suppress them. But you don't have a family. Harry, as a child, has gone through all these things. When did he start going wrong? Is it when he got married? If you marry, your wife and yourself, your father in this kingdom is your master. Your wife will have been taught how things are done. Even my sister Priscilla said probably she has not been spoken to properly. But this man then have a problem between his family and his wife. And it got from bad to worse. What she wanted could be handled quietly. I have psychological issue, nobody care. I have this issue, nobody care. Like a baby, wanting attention. And it got so far. Call your father-in-law. At that time, Prince Charles, Daddy. After all, he's the same man who gave her own hand in marriage.
Because her father couldn't.
And her own father said no.
Why? I mean,
her own father said, I don't want to have anything to do with her because she's a family destroyer. With all due respect on her.
Her father also told us that the royal family owe him. I wonder what he meant by that.
Because he respect and value them.
Are you not aware of that? You've never seen the
If he said that, what is wrong with saying that? Everyone in this country is a subject. See,
I don't understand
you
how
see,
the royal family
it
can
works.
owe him.
It works. And he valued them. He has his own what he said. And he said, look, if your own father-in-law has such power, why don't you call him daddy? Something like this.
Okay.
But
she did say that she
tried
reached
to call
out
him.
to a very senior. She didn't tell us.
She reached out to the queen.
She said she reached out to a very senior member of the family, and they
didn't
told
help
her that
Keep
they
quiet.
couldn't help her.
They wanted her to be quiet because these things do that.
But she was quiet
But
at that time.
what was happening is that, you see, she's an American. Don't forget that one too. We can say whatever we want to say. The way the Americans bring up their children is different from the way the British do.
I don't
The
know.
British have that
I don't agree
understanding
with that because
when you come to
I
the
don't believe
royalties.
You've met her, so you don't know her personality.
Well,
just like I haven't met her.
We've not
so
all
so
met
we shouldn't
her.
make any assumptions as to
But
what she
things
could
have
or-
Why am I
gone-
having the feeling you're going to mention
Things,
Hassan?
things,
You think so?
things
That
have
would be
gone
great.
from
I'll just-
so far. Things are going as we go on with the program. Things are going from bad to worse.
Yes, things are going from bad to worse. But before then, someone said online, she said that the British media are radicalizing the public against Prince Harry. Which you say with their manner of reporting the whole situation.
No, I agree.
So you agree with that?
No, because you see, the thing is, and I need to take you up on this, sir. You're saying that it's the media that are speaking and the family are not. But that's not actually true. Because, for instance, take the other day, the headline was, he's no longer welcome to the coronation. How would the media know what the family are thinking or what the family have said if they haven't spoken to anybody? Harry has informed us that the family will inform the media about, feed the media stories, and then they will say they don't have a comment. And then we look in the media and you're seeing it. So we can't, this is where my problem is. This is why
But you know, I do have an answer to that.
This is why I say that, you know, if the family had called it off, we wouldn't be here. The King of Norway recently made a statement. His daughter is married a man that is actually not even like the mixed race as we have with Harry, Meghan, Harry's wife, but a man that is of African origin. So he's completely, you know, brown, black. I don't like using that term.
Yeah.
But the King of Norway has already put his foot down to prevent situations like this from arising, to prevent his son-in-law.
You think that should have been done from the onset? You think the royal family should have done that?
I don't think in the case of the British, you see, this man and his wife, they have everything to change the narrative. They have everything. They can do so much.
Read the book, because you know
it
would appear that we had quite seemed like a pauper prince living in a palace.
Well, if they think they are pop.
Was it? What do you mean that
They
he
become
goes?
Papa
He goes to TK Maxx to shop.
Is that what
But
was
you need-
doing?
No,
You
if
need
you
to
say
read-
that, what's the name of this artist in America? This lady?
No,
Wait.
that.
No,
But
she goes to a £1 shop. What's her
Oprah-
name?
Oprah
No,
Winfrey.
not Oprah. This lady that sang Players Gonna Play. I'm sorry, her name is skipping my head.
so-
whatever
So
it
she
is,
said
it's not the
she
same
goes to a
thing.
£1 shop.
Yeah, you can't compare a prince and a kingdom. His grandmother's face is on
So
the
why?
money.
So
The-
tell
the-
me,
his
what
grandmother
was he
is the-
doing?
is
What
the
was he
court.
doing in TK Maxx?
No.
Why did he go to TK
If
Maxx?
you've read that, you know, whole part,
That he wasn't financed.
Content.
Do you know what
Because
Prince
you say
Harry
TK
keeps
Maxx
saying?
TK Maxx is not bad. I go there to every good person go there. TK Maxx is going to TK Maxx should not be a problem. TK Maxx is one of the expensive places
I think
you go
most
to.
of us assumed that Harry would have had people that were cooking for him, people that would even shop for him, and people that would do a whole array of things for him.
He doesn't have it.
But he's let us to understand in this book that life wasn't that way. Even though he was a prince, life for him.
What does he want?
the
People to be
life
carrying him?
I don't think he's expecting anything.
So, but William
fairness.
has.
But William has. You know, he speaks.
doubt
Well, I can't doubt him because I don't live his life.
Yes.
You know, I can only go by what he tells me. Until I live his life is different. But he tells us that, you know, he did not have that life. And it's quite a surprise and a shock to the rest of us that, you know, what we thought he was living or what we thought he had, it's not quite what it.
So he's a pauper prince. That's what he's
Well,
trying to
you
tell
know,
us.
no. We're using that term. I'm not saying he was a complete pauper, but it certainly wasn't expected.
Okay, before that, let me just take us on this one. You know, with everything he wrote, I think it was a bit unfair to his grandmother because he always says he loves her so much. Where he said the Queen was wearing hair plugs during Brian May's performance.
In other words,
Like she doesn't want to listen to the noise of.
Can you blame her?
Of Brian.
Maybe it would have damaged her ears because, you know, she probably.
No,
would
no,
have
but
been
what
very
about the
close to
musician?
it.
But the musician, is leaving.
My
How do you
darling,
expect?
There are times when I go to concerts and things, and I'm very particular about where I stand because I'm concerned about my eardrums. Maybe he shouldn't have put them in the book. I don't know why. I haven't
Maybe
read
because
it.
yeah, but
it reveals too
wait,
much.
I haven't read it to that point, so I don't know why. So I don't understand the context for that. But it does sound like TMI. I've said this already.
Okay,
That,
too much information.
Maybe.
But you know what Harry keeps saying, and
Yeah.
in several interviews he keeps granting. He says it's taken out of context. He keeps saying it's taken out of
Not
context.
everything is taken out of
You know
context,
what? You know,
obviously.
my beloved mother, she's late. You know, she usually says something, may God rest her soul. She says, when you talk too much, you then tend to say the things you shouldn't even say at all.
Yes.
Because like you've said, the interview with Oprah, we thought they were done. Then the documentary on Netflix, and we're
Yeah,
wondering
but
where
the
we're
press
going
are
with
not
it.
done.
Where
The
we're
press
going
are
with
not
this.
done.
No, but you're feeding them too much information.
But he's not doing it. They have moved out of the country and they made a specific statement. They said, we are not going to work with you people. They clarified that because of the way you've treated us. And they chose the press that they will work with. It's there. It's in the public domain.
Let me explain
yet,
this.
These people still do not leave them alone.
Who?
You're telling us, the British press, you're telling us about where he's living. He's living in Montecito. You're constantly complaining about how big his home is, how much he's had to pay. Who cares? Let him live
We
in his
care.
house. Why do you care? He's
We
not
care
spending your
because-
money. He's earning his money, and if he wants to buy a big mansion, that's his business. If I earn my money and I choose to live in a humongous mansion, whose business
There
is
is
it?
actually
As long as I'm not depriving anybody of their
you see,
lives.
there is a problem I have here. We need to be very careful because this, to me, is more than what we think is going on, and we need to really play the.
There's certainly
adults
so
here.
much more to it.
You see, I want to tell the story of my life. There's nothing wrong. Anyone can tell the story of their life. But when you weaponize or you allow people to weaponize the story of your life, that's what's happening here.
But that's why
The
he's
story
clarifying.
has
Look at
come
these books
out
that are
and
written.
is to some extent poisonous.
Yeah, it's
And
poisonous.
it's poisonous, and the poisoning, if we say that, fine, you have left your family, right? You want to go and live in America. I'm sure they didn't want him to go.
Of course they
They
didn't.
didn't. But so that is when the father and the brother start having problem with him. Because
No.
the only one this young man have in the world is his brother, the future king.
But
and the
but
only one
but
the
don't
brother have
forget-
is him.
But don't forget, he told us that he did speak to his father about what he wanted to do.
After he has made his decision.
No,
Even
no,
the queen
wait for it.
initially
Wait
didn't
for
say
it.
yes.
Wait for it.
Okay.
He told his father what he wanted to do. And his father said, put it in writing. He said, no, I don't want to do that because I don't want the whole world to hear about it.
Okay.
Let us resolve this issue privately and then we can tell the world. But no, his father insisted and he put it in writing. And the next thing you know, we were being told that this is the plan that he has. You see, we have to, let's not ignore the wrongs that have been done to him.
Okay,
And let's
we
take
won't
that
do
into
that.
What are the
But I
wrongs?
think one day we should talk about the romance between the royal family and the British media or
Absolutely.
the press.
Yeah, I
No,
want
no,
to
no, no,
see
we're going to
that.
touch that because the royal family cannot survive without them, and the media also cannot survive without the
I
royal
agree with
family.
you.
They do have a symbiotic relationship.
Yes.
Which it's at the end
My-
of the day, it's helping much more the royal family, giving us the impression of this secret family. We all have our secrets, but this is like the number one family in the country, and then they've got
Let me tell you
a lot
something.
of things. We want to
If they
know.
were writing-
Usually, we want to know what's happening behind those.
We want
high
to know,
walls.
but
Really?
it's not there for us to know.
But-
That's
but
why
they-
they
but-
have
but
big
they-
I don't
walls.
really care about
So
what's
that's why they have big
Okay,
walls.
but there's something before we run out of time. There's something I need to share with us now. Harry has also said that the press pinned a story on the
Yes.
Taliban,
Yes.
and then he said that is pretty dangerous.
I
Actually,
agree.
really dangerous for him, isn't
Yes,
it?
it was extremely dangerous. They did spin it.
They did spin it.
Oh, yes,
How
they
did
And then he said it was taken out of
because
context
they took it out
again.
of context because
But-
you needed to have read it in its entirety. He was actually very sorry about what happened. He was sharing his emotions, his feelings, and the experience that he had. And he also let it known that, you know, and soldiers have spoken about this, that, you know, other soldiers have also written about the number. So
Okay.
he's kept a tally because the system permitted him to do that. And he mentioned that his tally was 25. Now, the British media will now go and call up the Taliban to come and give, you know, what do they think about this? What about
Oh my
all the
goodness.
people that have
You
been
see,
killed in
it
the
is
Taliban?
so
killed,
scary.
you know,
Can
in
I
Afghanistan
now
before?
come in here?
Yes, please, come
Exactly.
in.
Thank you very much. You see, in the first place, right, when you don't look at what is happening here, Harry doesn't need money. He's not looking for money.
Now he doesn't.
And no, he doesn't need money. What the problem here is when we continue saying wrong has been done to him. Wrong has been done by who? What wrong has been done to him?
You don't.
If you live in glass houses,
attention to the wrongs.
You see where the privileges
You don't want
he
to
had,
acknowledge it.
the privileges
You're
he had from birth
dehumanizing him
to death.
because he
You
was
understand?
privileged. He's not dead
The
yet.
privileges he had also come with the other side. Wherever he passed, there must be security. Why? He's different from me. So he should understand he came with the baggage.
Yeah, but he doesn't want to be lied about.
At the same time, you don't realize that the king is the commander-in-chief of the military armed forces.
So that's why the
Fine.
king should do better.
So if you go, the only reason why Harry served in the military is because of his father and his grandmother and his brother, his royal background. So if you then are attacking, because what he's doing, if he's not aware, and I want Priscilla and others who are on his side and sympathizing with him, please advise the young man. When you attack the king and the future king, you are attacking the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, and technically you are attacking the British Army. Go and ask Jeremy Corbyn what happened to him. When he did something and he was shown they were singing the national anthem and he's not singing, within 1 week in Afghanistan, the military put his picture down and they were shooting it. It came into the parliament, they were discussing it. Do not dare. So you should not be surprised when this so-called 25 Taliban were shot by... When you go to a military man, you go to a battlefield, you don't go with flower, you go to kill people. Everybody know they kill people. But suddenly, the language has changed. See, now it's the Taliban that are now saying we are looking for him. So now,
that the British press
the British
wrote about
intelligence,
this. The British media also wrote about this tally and the fact that he had killed in Afghanistan when it happened. I think it was 2012 or 2013. So Harry is not telling you anything new.
But
at that
this time,
they said he was a hero.
At that time,
you know, he was a hero, and he had to do what he had to do because he was an officer in the army.
But then
but today,
see,
we're calling the Taliban to attack him because now we're spinning it because we want to make him look bad.
The commander-in-chief was protecting him at that time. The father was protecting. I'm coming now. When you attack the army, you're attacking the commander-in-chief. When you attack the commander, now he's attacking because whatever he said in this book, whether it's spin or not, can you see? It's like the boy is after his own father.
He's actually
He may not mean that. He may not mean that, but the public opinion that is being shaped, it's look like that. He's fighting with his father. If you say you and your brother even had a fight and he smashed you on the floor, for God's sake, do you say this in public? Now, what you are doing is you have created a wedge. That's why they say it's not welcome.
To leave Harry and his wife alone.
Oh, it's the queen who is going after them now, isn't it? They are going after the king.
You don't know. Tell him, just like the King of Norway put the statement out there, and now everybody understands that we're going to respect his son-in-law and we're going to, you know, ease on the racism. Tell the king, because
but the king of Norway's son or daughter is not attacking her father or mother, isn't it? These ones have even packed things and left the home and they've gone to the bush where they have become a problem to everyone. Do you know that wherever this young man lives, the father should be paying for the government, British government, British nation. They are supposed to pay from the birth to the death of this boy.
You know,
but he's cutting it off.
I don't want, maybe in the next time when we're talking about it, I'm going to touch on the security aspect of what is going to happen with him now.
Yeah, but they already withdrew.
No, I know they withdrew, but right now, talking about the Taliban, and we know sometimes these extremists, they do not forgive. So, what is going to happen with him in that aspect? That, of course, they're going to double
I don't think it would have been an issue had the media not blown it out of all.
They will always blow it because give them the chance. They want to be popular.
They did. They have invited and brought him to much more prominent attention.
Because he did that to himself.
You know,
but
he brought himself.
We didn't need to put a spin on it. We didn't need to call Afghanistan to come and tell us what they think about what he said.
And write a book as he like and still be where he is. The man has packed his things and left. He's out there. Can you see? Right now, he has turned himself into the enemy. And the British media, you see, these British people, they are very intelligent too. Don't underestimate them. They can say anything about their prime minister, say anything about their king, say anything. If you go and say it, you'll be the bad one. Now, this guy is outside. To them, they see him as someone now attacking him. And they don't see him as attacking the king. They is attacking the military too. So they, if they can't go directly,
Right
because the father is the one who is, whether they
he's
spin
attacking
it
everything
or,
just by breathing. So, you know,
So,
I think you and I
he has put
need
himself
to
in
be
a-
able to see through this. We have to be able to objectively look at the situation and recognize the various levels and aspects of it for what it is. You know, this is a cause and effect situation. Because
Look
at the
at
end of the
brothers.
day,
Beautiful.
it's a
Yeah,
cause,
look at them.
it's a
Why
cause-
will he throw that away?
Yeah, but-
because of
yeah,
a woman
but-
who just stepped into your life.
No, that's not fair, because from
No,
this
no, you-
book, from this book, we're learning that they were not as
Shoot.
close
It-
as what we thought they were.
Okay, and you know when he
But
said
it's because of their
okay, look at,
behaviors.
isn't this
No, but even
beautiful?
before
Look
he
at
met
this.
the-
Look at this.
the
Isn't
woman.
this beautiful?
This is what
him and
everyone
his
wants.
wife. This is what we want to see. We want to see
but I
both
don't want to see
brothers
a fight.
with
You wanna
their
see-
wives.
I don't want to see the
but
fight.
it's
Yeah,
beautiful.
But it's not up to you and
Both
I.
brothers
They are fighting now.
with
Yeah,
their
but it's not up to
spouses.
you and
This
I.
makes a beautiful,
Beautiful thing.
picture.
Each has
And
got
it
their
will make
wife
a
and
lot
their
of
children
people
should
to
be
look
working
forward.
together.
We say the family
we lived
is the
through
bedrock.
Diana. We lived through Diana, so we all looked forward
Oh,
to
now
this.
we will die forever,
However-
Diana. Let us move into the
however-
future. Diana is dead. So what can we do?
However, it is not up to us. It's not our fault that they don't get on. It's not our fault that
They were
have
brothers. They
issues.
loved themselves.
In your family, I'm sure there are people you don't talk to, Kofi. You, the way you are. So let's don't even go there.
Well, I'm Mr. Nobody.
Okay,
But
no,
what you
it
should
has
see
nothing
is
to do
Mr.
with
Everybody.
Mr. No.
So he cannot do what I can get away with.
Everybody's family. In my
But
family.
his
Listen,
fight,
we
his
all
fight
have
has
it in our
become a
respect-
national fight. Too.
That's because
My
of the
family
way
will have
we
ended up, my own fight will have ended up in Peckham. This one's fight is international
But
fight now. You don't want that.
I bet
You
in
know,
your
he said-
family
wait,
that somebody would have called everybody together and
Ah.
said, no, let's resolve it. Hey, now, so why aren't we seeing that?
know,
The man to call them is the father.
Exactly.
But
He hasn't
but
done that.
but
He
no,
has said-
not that the father has
he
not
has
done
said.
that. Oh. The problem is he now is torn between following his wife
He's
or
not.
following his family.
He's open to reconciliation.
Which open?
He's
What he said-
open.
No. He said.
Okay, well,
he
with
said the ball is
everything-
in
with
their court.
everything
He
he
said
has
the ball is
revealed.
so they should come and beg
No,
him.
with everything
He
is
didn't ask anybody to
revealed.
beg him.
He
He's
said,
open to
well,
reconciliation.
in fact, they said they don't even want him
Everything
to come.
Prince Harry has revealed. I don't know if reconciliation is going to be easy.
Everyone
That
is
is my opinion.
I
That's
think
one.
the worst things he revealed are about himself. I think he was quite kind, actually.
You mean it? It could have been worse.
Yes, I am. You know why? Because when I was listening, the media just went crazy. They were so afraid and so concerned as to what he was likely going to review.
That is why you
And
don't
he
give
was
the
likely
media
going to
the
reveal.
chance.
He was likely to reveal. And now they're all in shock that it's not as bad as what they thought it was going to be. He's revealed more about his own personal experiences himself.
Which he
So
has
there are
said
worse.
they are spinning against him.
See.
Which he says they are spinning against. But there's something that I want to put out here. Could there be some people who are actually pushing and encouraging him to say
Of course,
those
the Americans
things
are doing it
because
because
they
he
want to make
sells.
money
He
from
sells.
Listen, listen. If we go by what was said, I think everybody is in shock as to how much it has sold and how much money.
45,000 within
Is
a
it?
day. The
No,
day
it was
came
no,
out.
no. What
No,
45?
400,000 copies.
That was
At the
only
point
in the UK.
when I bought this, on the
That was
particular day
only
when I
in
bought
the
this.
UK.
Okay, I think the UK,
France
Amazon.
has reprinted 3 times in 2 days. 3 times in 2 days.
So people want to know what is
130
wrong
more
with this
extra-
family. And
So-
he is
It's
the-
one of
he
the,
is
it's,
the
it's
whistleblower.
almost like the number one family in the world, isn't it?
It's the number one
He's
family.
the whistleblower. And who is the whistleblower?
We're
here?
talking about a monarchy of over 1,000 years, and then
And
the
that's
one
why I
little boy
expected them
comes.
to have more sense.
No.
The little boy
But the
did not
one
come and
little
The
say,
boy
little
comes,
boy
he
is
wants
not
to
my
tear
boy, he's a
them down.
man.
listen, when his mother died, we lived through this behavior from his family. And, you know, it was Tony Blair as Prime Minister that literally had to shout and say, look, you've got to come out and meet your people. The people are hurting and they're asking for their queen. It was so cold. So when he speaks of the coldness that he experienced, when he speaks of that, most of us can buy into
No, but
that.
how do
Well,
the others
others-
cope? How do
I'm
others
coming.
cope?
Listen, so William has a different treatment
How?
to
Oh,
him.
no.
So
They
his
have the same
mother
treatment.
actually said it, that William is the heir, so he will
Yeah.
have all the attention. So she has to give him as much love as possible. Now, we all heard that.
Whose mother said that? Diana.
Diana, yes. So she was very concerned about him and
About
how
Harry.
about how he will be
He's a
treated.
fragile one.
It's out there. So then, but then when you go through the book, some of the excerpts that I've read are quite interesting. You know, he speaks about how a room is divided up, for instance, and one side has all the plush, nice, comfortable things, and the other side
I don't
where
think
he
it's as
had to
bad that.
sleep. You know,
I don't
didn't
think
have-
that
and
is
I
that
think, and I'm
bad.
just in shock. Like, how can
We are talking about
you know,
about
it shouldn't- that shouldn't
about
be the
Buckingham
case.
Palace alone. There's enough
You know.
room for everyone in London. Let me do something here.
There
Let me come
is,
in.
But you know, you saw the pictures of his cottage that he lived in.
Ah.
We've seen the pictures of the cottage, right?
Where he lives, it's not bad.
Did you see how plain it was?
Is it plain?
Have you seen the
Maybe
pictures?
when they left.
Have you seen the pictures of other members of the family? This is the cottage before they did up the Frogmore house, Frogmore cottage, Nottingham cottage in Kensington
Oh.
Palace. Where he lived there with Meghan before they had the place that the Queen gave them. Have you seen those pictures? Have you seen the palatial
Are you saying it's not
homes?
good enough?
Look, if you had seen it, the difference is quite wide.
You know,
between that and
can
what
I
other
say
family
something?
members
If
live.
you have it better than I do within the family,
Why
he
should I
says
be
he
bothered?
loves
It's
his.
my
He says he
brother.
loves
By the
his
way,
gra-
he said he didn't mind it. He was fine.
No, but he said he loves his grandmother.
Yeah.
So he can always approach her to speak to her about it. I can even move into those posh areas. I'm not going to stay there. I'm a prince. Why should I be there? It's the modern age. Let it be seen that you guys are pulling me out of this posh place. Why will I stay there?
He never
and you know
lacked
what?
anything.
The way he was treated, maybe he allowed
By
it.
who?
And then if he said he was treated thus, and because William, of course, is going to be the king, you know, in future.
They were treated the same
So
way.
I don't really think if he tells us that they were treated different, there must be a reason if they were.
They are
but
not,
I am not sure they
don't
were
let
treated
us, you see,
differently.
Well,
like
I said,
I think I've not spoken.
I can. Yes,
we
you
are
haven't.
talking over
Sorry,
each
go
other,
ahead.
which is not the best.
Go for
Okay.
What I want to say is that, you see, we shouldn't go down that line. And the reason is very obvious, because that is only an excuse to go down the line he's going to. You know, I was treated differently from my brother. We don't live in the same house with them. They live in their house. But I know that even a person living in a council house in this country have dignity. Talk less of a prince. All these castles, you go to Balmoral, you go to Windsor, you see all these big buildings. He can live wherever
He
he
even
wants to
talked
live.
about the loo water coming out from the
From
tap.
tap.
Why is it disgracing
Loo
his
water.
family so much?
So you
Well,
see,
I don't expect things like that to happen.
but
in the palace.
it's there. I don't expect that in the palace.
I don't expect it.
It's only even in a prison you don't get that.
but you don't control what happens within the
So-
pipelines.
If
How long will it
if
take?
a
Because I
pipeline,
can call a plumber. It might take me a
my
while for
royal
a plumber to arrive. But they don't have
royal pipe,
such issues.
royal pipe. Even he said their dog when his brother slammed him on the floor. I've never
Yes,
heard
the
that
part
before.
that was
He
really
said,
painful.
See, no. Listen to. I think there's
That
something
was
wrong.
really painful.
No, there's
Do you think
something.
it
There's
happened?
something.
Because I'm looking at Harry. So
There's
apologies.
something wrong with
Apologies.
that line of thought.
I'm looking at Williams. Williams is nice. You know, look gentlemanly,
Well,
handsome
he's a
man.
human being.
I
He
don't
might have
expect
another
him
side.
to have that kind of anger in him.
But his anger has
No.
been very well documented. And
No.
reported,
In
you
this
know.
case-
we've had the situation where his stepmother has, it was reported. His stepmother said that he had, the expression was the boy has a temper on him. So they've always reported about his anger, the fact that he's incandescent with rage, the fact that he was angry, the fact that he was raging. That's a constant headline every single day in this.
I don't know why I haven't
So when
come
Harry
across
I've
it.
not come across
Maybe I
most
just
of
always
them.
look at
Every
the
picture.
nice part of
let
him.
us
I
take-
don't know.
Most of us
Let us
did
take.
not.
Let us. We're
Most
about
of
to
us
run
did
off.
not
Yes,
think
we
about
need to
it.
round
We're
up
about
now.
to run
But
off.
so
Can I
when
use the
Harry
top?
Yeah.
says that
Yeah.
he was thrown to the ground, some of us are not shocked because it's like, okay, so this thing is
Well,
real.
some of you. So we have a
Okay,
different
so-
version.
so you
What
tell
I know
me.
is that story doesn't
A
add
little
up.
Google will
You
tell
see,
you, by the way.
that story
Okay.
doesn't add up. Why doesn't it add up? You see, everyone who has a dog at home, you feed your dog in a plastic plate or a metal plate. this royal dog might be drinking either from a golden ceramic. That is the only one that can break. So if they slam you on the floor and it breaks, it means that dog is not a normal dog. For the thing to break,
It's a royal dog.
to
It's a royal
stop
dog.
you.
It's
So
a royal
to
dog,
me,
Kofi.
that story doesn't add up.
To
But
you,
you see,
because
it's
you
somebody
feed
who's
your dog
giving
in
the
plastic.
story. My dog will only do it because the dog will break it anyway.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
That is a golden plate.
The world is still talking about the story. I will come to talk about it still. We're going to come back again. We're going to have another discussion on Prince Harry versus the royal family. What's going to happen next? A lot has been revealed. You can imagine the interview with Oprah, the documentary on Netflix, a 6-part documentary, then the book. So is Meghan going to come out with her own book? What is going to happen next? Will the royal family keep maintaining a dignified silence like the media
By the way,
want
there's
to call
nothing
it?
dignified in
So
the silence.
are they going to keep doing that? I don't know. Let us just find out how the story unfolds. My name remains Rose Peter Graham, and I would like to say thank you very much to my lovely guest, who's had a heated discussion, over this. Kofi Ali is the chairperson for the ECOWAS Citizens Rights Advocate, and of course my very good friend and colleague Priscilla Wiekpo. She's a broadcaster and of course a social commentator and political analyst. Thank you very much. We'll do this again. Take care. Bye-bye.